I installed the crash guard from Mototorque and removed the stock engine guard and the leg guard from the Triumph Scrambler 400X. Now, why did I do it and how does it perform? Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So in my video on the accessories for the Triumph Scrambler 400X, I had mentioned that I might remove the lower engine guard and the leg guard and go for an aftermarket crash guard from Mototorque. Now there's a specific reason to it. The stock leg guard and the lower engine guard of the Triumph Scrambler 400X is very functional. It does a great job in protecting the engine and other components in case of a fall. However, there was one issue that we started facing the more and more we started taking it off-road on trail rides and dirt track practice sessions. The stock lower engine guard and the leg guard sits close to the frame. On multiple occasions when Yesh fell on dirt track, she was the one primarily using the bike because it was hers. We often found that her leg used to get stuck under the bike. The bike wouldn't crush the leg, but it would fall over the leg in such a point that the foot used to get stuck on the other side and the whole bike would be on the leg. This would completely immobilize a rider and they'll be able to get out of the situation only if someone comes and lifts the bike off the ground. Then only they'll be able to take out the leg and the foot and then get up back again. When this happened a couple of times, we started looking for an alternate solution to it. So that's when we were searching and we found a good alternate solution from Mototorque. Before we bought it and got it installed, we went to their office to check it out and to try it out first and to see how it performs and then fix it. Now we've been riding with it for almost 5,000 to 6,000 kilometers and here's my review on it. Long story short, it's so good that I got one for the Himalayan 411 as well. Now coming to the pros and cons of this crash guard. The first pro is that it comes with a big enough slider. When the bike falls, the slider is the first thing to come in contact with the ground after the handlebar. This creates a big enough space between the flat ground and the bike so that you can easily pull out your leg from under the bike in case the bike falls on your leg. So here, you don't need the help of another person to come and lift the bike to get out of the sticky situation. You yourself can drag the leg from under the bike, stand up and then lift the bike. This is one of the main reasons that we went for the aftermarket crash guard from Mototorque. The second advantage of these sliders are that these sliders are held by bolts and these bolts just get bent on a bigger impact and then they bent out of shape, thereby preventing the transfer of all the forces onto the crash guard and then onto the chassis. This happened during our Ladakh trip as well. In one of the big falls, when we were coming down the Singila pass, the slider took the major impact and the bolt bent out of shape. And this was very easy to fix also. Just remove the bolt, get it out of the bolt and then put a fresh one. And in case if the slider gets severely damaged, you'll get just the sliders to replace from Mototorque. Now coming to the second pro of these crash guards is that the build quality. The build quality of these crash guards are really good. The paint job, the powder coating on these crash guards are very good to a point where it almost looks similar to the chassis. So this crash guard as a whole doesn't look out of place or like an accessory. It looks like a stock component. Now coming to the cons. Now I don't consider this as a con at all. But there are people who tell that when you install an aftermarket crash guard that has 3 mounting points, it stays rigid. It's so rigid that in case of an impact, it directly transmits all the forces onto the chassis, thereby causing chassis failure, damage, breakage and all that stuff. To all those people, I humbly tell that, see, to me, this is just my opinion. To me, you can give money and replace a chassis in cases of such a big impact. But it is very difficult to replace an entirely functioning humerus or a tibia or your entire leg, especially if you develop major fractures. God forbid that happens. With that being said, I'm totally against all the cage-like crash guards that are in the market right now. They cause more harm than good. There are a lot of crash guards that look like a huge ass cage that cover the entire bike, which adds up to the weight and unnecessary points of impact and all that stuff. So I'm against all those cage-like crash guards. But this particular one from Mototorque strikes a perfect balance between being too much and being a little extra than the stock to give you that little extra protection that you need, especially when you go off-road. So on the Himalayan 411, I got installed the crash guard of the Scram 411 from Mototorque, because even Mototorque has a special crash guard for the Himalayan 411, but that looks overkill. That looks like the cage-like one I was talking to you about. So I got the Scram 411's crash guard, which fits well on the Himalayan 411, looks good, is functional, and it's not an overkill or a huge cage-like one. Another accessory that I forgot to mention in the main accessory video that I did for the Triumph Scrambler 400X is the side stand extender from Mototorque. Now these extenders increase the surface area of the side stand and thereby prevent it from sinking into sand or deep mud, especially when you are going on long tours and you have a loaded bike with luggage. This came in very handy during our Ladakh trip, where at many instances we had to park the bike in slushy or muddy conditions and the bike does not sink in because of the side stand extender. It is very helpful when we go to dirt track practice sessions also. So I will leave the links of these products in the description below. Go check them out and get them for yourself if you like it. That's it for today's video. I hope you guys liked it. See you in the next one. Till then, take care. Bye bye.